Good morning. My name is Wallace Lord. My job title is Senior Range Specialist. I work at Poakaloa Training Area on the island of Hawaii. I'm going to discuss with you in brief range safety. Death does not recognize peace, according to the Rear Admiral Eugene Carroll Jr., retired, who wrote an article in the Weekly Defense Monitor, issue number 12, October 2nd, 1997. Department of Defense report entitled Worldwide U.S. Active Duty Military Personnel Casualties. According to the report, 18,370 American servicemen and women died of accidental causes of death during the last 18 and a half years. It's hard enough to lose a loved one due to wartime combat. But when a loved one dies in training, it's hard to understand. What I will discuss is to maintain a safe major Army training area in support of combat readiness, to assist unit commanders in safe conduct of their training. And so we provide range safety courses to all officers in charge of training and their range safety officers, consist of majors, captains, lieutenants, platoon sergeants, sergeants, and E5 promotables. We support combat readiness. That's our mission. We must do it to where if we have 800 personnel coming to train at our training area, we must utilize everything we can, every safety measure we can, so when they leave us, they're all safe. Safety briefs are required before any unit can train on our ranges and maneuver areas. So first thing we do is give them an orientation of where they are training. We're about 6,200 feet above sea level. So that's a major concern with someone that has asthma or any type of migraines or headaches. So that's a concern of ours. Another concern would be that we can't assume that all the units that come there, all the people that come there, know the area. If they get lost, if it's at night, they didn't know their orientation, where they can be at. So when GISO goes like this, Mauna Loa, Mauna Kea, and Hualalai are three mountains that Saddle Road are in between. We're about 36 miles from Hilo, 63 miles from Kona, 36 miles from Kadox, and about 18 miles from Waimea. And the reason why I say those particular areas is because that's where the hospitals are at. Being up so high, there's no hospital located on our facility. So the unit needs to know why it's important for us to have all the information that we need and all the communication that we need to facilitate their safety. We teach them about off-limit areas. Off-limit areas are areas where there's been a high rate of personnel injuries in the past. So we coordinate those areas until we can improve them. Roads, hills, and especially roads that are bad to where personnel drive, Army personnel drive. We require all the units to report all accidents and injuries. They need a military physician, we call a PA, an ambulance or field ambulance with a combat lifesaver on certain ranges, high hazard area ranges, like grenade houses, artillery, mortars. They need an ambulance there which will facilitate if medevac can't move into those areas, they can drive out to an ambulance extraction point and medevac can pick them up there. Medevac is a helicopter bird that flies with at least 2 medics and 4 corpsmen on board. Corpsmen is like a nurse, doctors, and they provide the safety assistance and medical assistance for our ranges. All units need to notify range control of all accidents. Vehicle accidents are the most common cause of death, accounting for almost 63% of all accidental deaths, while aircraft crashes are next with 60%. Drownings are 7%, falls are 3%, gunshots are 2%. Fires, explosions, electrocutions, parachute accident losses, overboard, at sea, and suffocations are other causes of death. That's why communication is so important with range control. It's very essential while conducting training in the Army facilities. You need to report to range control once you go into the training areas or maneuvering areas. But before you even go there, the OIC RSO needs to report to range control to sign out for those ranges. So that's like a redundancy. We need to do all that paperwork even before you go out there, so we know who you are. We need to know if you have your OIC RSO card that we issue you out during our briefings, also OIC briefings, so you can be required or even have a initiation even come onto the range to train. And the main document has to be signed by the battalion commander. He's the overall safety officer within his unit. They need to sign for a range, they need to sign for the packet, which has all the documents they need, and it shows them what the ranges require and what type of ammunition can be used on those ranges. Once they receive that and the unit goes out to the training areas, they need to call us with the OIC RSO, who's in control, how many personnel, how many vehicles by type and quantity, what type of ammunition, and the DODAC number of that ammunition, so we can check and see if the Army had discontinued that ammunition. Maybe the unit might not know, but we will have that information, and we need to facilitate it with them so they keep them safe. Also, that we need from them to call us every hour on top of the hour. That's part of the communication. Like I said before, and it's very strict, and we're very strict about it. If the communication goes down, they need to call us, either by cell phone or by another 5 point or another range. Needs to say, look, this range communications has went down. Once that happens, we'll send out a range safety personnel to help them with their communications, help them with their radio. But before they even notify us, they must go on check fire. They must stop training. Because if any accident happens, if we don't have no communication with them, how can we make sure they're safe? How can we give them the information to the medevac or to the doctor if we can't communicate with them? Life, limb, and eyesight is a very thin line as time-wise for us to facilitate that unit or that person that got injured to the hospital that's 36 miles away. So we need that. It's a real thin timeline. We give the unit frequencies to call us and our telephone number. If our frequency goes down, then they could call us on our landline, which is our phone, or we have an alternate frequency they can use until we get our main frequency up. Safety is highly important, especially in the Army. We must maintain safe areas to help support the Army overall safety for combat readiness. We're fighting 2 wars now, and that's a harder struggle, and we have to recognize the stress within the unit and the personnel. Safety will always be the top priority for range control and as well as the Army. Most common non-combat accidents, like I said before, are vehicle accidents. And that's why we need to know what the unit is doing and where they're going. So we are all safety officers, all the personnel within those units, from the E1 to the E5, to the E5 promotable, to the E6 and up. We're all safety officers. So if you see something wrong, report it. In peacetime, poor safety practices cause needless suffering, property loss, or death. In combat, the impact is even worse because accidents reduce our fighting strength. Our goal should be to conduct realistic training safely. There's no choice between safety and realism. Safety always prevails. Thank you.